This is the Resilient Advisor Show with Jay Coulter.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Resilient Advisor Show on Financial Advisor Television. Dr. Vinay Nair is my guest for this episode. He's the founder and CEO of TIFIN. He's a serial entrepreneur in our industry and an academic, having taught at MIT, Wharton, and Columbia. Thanks for coming on and spending some time with myself and the audience today.
Hi, Jay. Great to be here.
All right, so let's get right to it. My audience is made up of serious financial advisors, and they like to go deep. And TIFIN describes its mission as building engaging wealth experiences to better financial lives. How do you guys go about doing that?
So, Jay, I know that sounds like a bunch of cliche terms. So let me just dive deeper into that. Engaging wealth experiences and better financial lives. That's really the two key things that we think of. Engagement, to drive engagement, it's all about personalization, to really deliver something that is unique to you. And that's the anchor for anything we do around engagement. That's often combined with design and ease of use. Often we find a lot of software is clunky, especially in the software world that is B2B compared to the consumer-focused world. So you'll see many of the things we build have the elegance of a consumerish solution, but delivered in the hands of an advisor or a wealth manager, and is really helping them deliver very individualized pieces of advice and recommendations. So that drives engagement portion. Now, that personalization, unlike in movies or music, unlike in Netflix or Spotify, cannot just be entertainment, has to deliver better outcomes. And that's where our investment engines come in. So our backgrounds, and that's the Fin and Fintech, the team spends a lot of time with building algos that brings together academic science, investment management skills to come up with relevant recommendations. So the combination of that investment intelligence with that personalization is really how we are building the engines that we think could be more engaging and better for the end user.
Yeah, and to be fair, I actually did not think that was a cliche. We're really focused on client outcomes and bringing on guests that are focused on that and cutting through the fluff, which you guys have done with the portfolio of companies you have at TIFIN, which I've watched grow over the last couple of years. In fact, it looks like you're starting to integrate them into an all-in-one platform with TIFIN Wealth. Can you talk about the TIFIN Wealth offering and the different capabilities that will be available to financial advisors?
Absolutely, Jay. We are super excited about the next phase of our evolution. As you correctly pointed out, we've been building and adding to the capabilities that typically dictates a wealth journey, all the way from planning our risk assessments, our personality assessments, portfolio design, management, content, insights, communication, specific investments, whether it's proposal generation or enhancements, whether it's private markets, giving, philanthropic, personalized tabs. Today, we have this collection of capabilities that truly helps us provide something which could be a unified one-stop shop for an advisor who typically struggles with, as you're well aware, integrations, cross connections, communication between different fintech solutions. So our goal really is to be the personalization stack for the advisor, the intelligence stack for the advisor. The advisor might use a custodian, might use a CRM, might use a portfolio accounting engine, portfolio reporting engine. But if they really want to focus on organic growth and they want to focus on value-added delivery to the existing clients, the personalization and intelligence, that's where we fit in. So think of us really as the front end, the advisor-client interaction, and we are building a stack around that use case.
So this year, I went to a lot of conferences and we brought the FATV crew. We broadcast from there. We were at Morningstar, ETF Exchange, RLS, the Jolt conference. And there was a reoccurring theme around AI and personalization in the advisor community. What is TIFIN doing? And I know this is a softball question because this is your fastball. What is TIFIN doing to assist financial advisors in this area?
Quite a few things. I think one thing to keep in mind is to do any sort of personalization, you need client-specific data. And that client-specific data typically has been portfolio holdings or something which is you only get after you become a client. It's very difficult to get data about a prospect that helps you personalize something for the prospect. So first thing to keep in mind is data can be generated when people are engaged, when they interact with things. So going back to what we first started with, when you build engaging experiences, what you first start doing is you also collect data from folks, which then helps you power the algos that makes it a very personalized answer. So this loop that happens between engaging interfaces, collection of data, algorithmic recommendations to get a personalized answer, that loop is something that we specialize in across all our products. Now, aside from that, we've built a pretty significant data platform, which also helps us with various recommendations. We have over 3 million individual personas today, where we get to see what they are searching for. On Magnifi, which is one of our platforms, we've crossed 120 million search results displayed. So as we continue to grow, one of the core assets I believe TIFIN will have is we aim to be the single largest data platform in the world of wealth. We won't be selling that data, but that data powers personalized recommendations. Again, think a Netflix or a Spotify. The reason they are able to provide a very personalized screen for you, which looks different from the screen that I get, is because they have data across a large swath of population, which helps them provide much more relevant answers. So we aim to do something similar to that. I don't think that the industry is set up today in a way where people can capture behavioral data, preferential data, beyond portfolio holdings data, and combine it with investing engines to give that level of personalization.
Those are some impressive numbers. When you look at the markets today, and we're recording this in July of 2022, there's a lot of volatility. We're in and out of a bear market, depending on what day of the week it is. How do you see this investment personalization remaining a priority as we go forward? Do you see financial advisors remaining focused on it?
I believe that personalization will become even more important for investors, especially in tougher markets. And let me share a stat with you. For example, in 2008, when the markets were going through a pretty tough time, I did a study for part of the book that I had written a while back, where we looked at S&P 500 versus a slight ESG tilted S&P 500 portfolio. And what we found was that folks who subscribed to this values tilted S&P 500 because it spoke to them because there was a personalized connection on that tilt, where, if I remember right, 48% less likely to sell at that point in time. Personalization is what generates loyalty, either to the portfolio or to the advisor. And especially in these times, I think retention becomes more important. Client servicing becomes more important. And to get people to think longer term, as opposed to focused entirely on the short-term volatility, that aspect of personalization and planning, I think, is going to be critical. Now, it depends on what personalization means to you. So this is where I think the quality of personalization has to improve. Superficial. So if you told me in turbulent markets, is personalization going to become less important? I would say superficial personalization is going to become less important, and meaningful personalization is going to become more important.
Very, very well put. We're big believers in personalizing your investment experience with the client. You don't have to be the portfolio manager, but you have to own it. You can't outsource it. It looks like your platforms take that to a whole new level in terms of the personalization that an advisor can give their client, which, as somebody who's been around long enough to have experienced the internet bubble and the great financial crisis, working with advisors, if you don't have that personalized relationship with those clients, they tend to become less sticky. So when you look at the newly created Magnifi Plus division, what do you see going forward?
Magnifi Plus is part of Magnifi, which is our search-powered investment marketplace. What we aim to do there really is to bring in a level of intelligence to standard brokerage-type platforms. We believe that access without intelligence is harmful. So the whole objective for Magnifi is to provide that layer of intelligence that can simplify investing success. So that starts with search, or Google type search you can do to find answers to questions. We then connected it to simple ability to invest and trade, where we make no money from commissions or order flows. We then added a conversational AI assistant very recently that we announced last month. Think of it as an Alexa, but for investing. And what is a natural extension of that platform to make it truly end-to-end is inspiration. And that inspiration module is what Magnifi Plus aims to be. So Magnifi Plus is going to be a collection of streaming video content, which will present investment insights from experts across different topics to our audiences. We did a pilot earlier this year where we had some great speakers, Kathy Wood, Jeff Gundlach, Kyle Bass, a bunch of other folks who come from the world of investing, express their views around different topics. We had a few advisors, some asset managers debate those topics, and we did a pilot with 6 episodes, which was quite successful. And that gave us the impetus to launch Magnifi Plus on an ongoing basis. Gary Kaminsky and Susan Krakauer are leading that project for us, both ex-CNBC, Morgan Stanley, Neuberger Berman, etc. And we already have some great speakers lined up. And we're hoping that entire initiative, Magnifi Plus, inspires people to think about investing a bit more deeper, inspires them to ask questions on Magnifi, get personalized answers, and then act on it. So we hope that could be a bit of a combine a CNBC with a Morningstar, with a Google, with a E-Trade, and you get something which looks like a Magnifi.
Yeah, I watched the beta launch closely, and the product they put out is different. The guest went deeper than they would on a traditional media outlet, and they were able to share insights that investors could glean actionable information from. Look forward to seeing the rest of the launch roll out later this year. Under your umbrella, you also have another offering around giving, which is unique. What could you tell us about that?
Giving is an area which we believe will be a very powerful value add as wealth management is becoming more holistic. And in particular, giving is also an area which we believe has a massive potential to be multi-generational. So if you go to a big family office event, there'll be one session around philanthropy, and typically that's the most attended session by various generation members. And when we looked at that, we felt that the industry really hasn't offered a personalized multi-generational giving platform. The world of DAFs, donor advised funds, obviously growing very fast, but was almost an afterthought to the need to do some tax savings into a DAF platform. And when we went and looked at that and wanted to just take a clean sheet of paper and design the entire experience, we ended up building a platform which an advisor can subscribe to, and it can power all their philanthropic initiatives. We wanted to build something that would be multi-generational, where the entire family can collectively